Hello, this is Cuckoo. I'm at Superbooth 2026 and I'm at BASTL Instruments booth right here with Václav Peluček. Hello.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you too. We have something very special launching today, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. We just made the Kickstarter page live, so yeah, it's up, it's out there.
Is it the first time you do a Kickstarter?
Yeah, the first time, and I think it's like the main reason is that we think there might be quite a demand, and we might maybe not have enough funds to like produce that many because for every release we need to earn the money in advance. So this time we wanted to just like make sure we can get it to people like ASAP. Like there's gonna be waiting time, of course, but you know.
It is very exciting. We're jumping the gun a little bit because we don't know what it is yet. But look at this. We have BASTL Kalimba.
Yeah, the BASTL Kalimba is something we've been working on for like 3 years, and it's a very like a passion project of mine. So, yeah, should we?
Yeah, jump in, show what it is, and I'm going to say it up front here. When I tried it's a little bit of a mind bender because it feels like it's a physical experience, but it's a synthesizer. So in my head, it's like, is this physical? Is this a synth?
Well, I'm a bit like I don't want to call it a synthesizer so much because that is it's breaking a lot of synthesis rules and it's trying to like come up with some sort of like a different language. Also like taking a lot of inspiration from acoustic instruments and yeah, so there is a synthesis part which is FM and there is also physical modeling synthesis and there are microphones in it that are in stereo and they like feed into the digital resonators. So there is like mix of those, and I think it's done in like very special way, and I think it sounds like nothing else really. So
Let's try that and see what it is.
yeah, so I think this simple patch is just very simple carpless patch. So you have these tines. You plug them. Yeah, it's like a. It picks up the velocity in quite great fine detail, and check this out. It like the sound that doing this. It's feed it into the sound of the instrument. So I can also do that.
And this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's like a mix of a real physical experience and obviously a synthesizer engine in there. And this is tricking my brain into thinking it is only a physical experience. And I love it.
Yeah, it's it somehow feels a bit more alive. Like with most synths, like you press a button and you get a sound and you understand the trade-off. But here you're not just pressing a button, you're like actually using the sound of like plucking the tine. So yeah, and I think the kalimba it's of course inspired by like acoustic kalimbas, you know, these guys. But this is like a circuit board with touch points, and that allows you to do like so much more than just plucking. So there are also these. Let me take it off the magnet.
It's really meant to be held.
Yeah. So I have a little magnetic ring here because I love those. But you can see there are also like some like guiro style, like percussive features on the case, and yeah, it's really meant to be held. It's like we spent quite a lot of iterations on the shape, and then yeah, because they're touch points. Yeah, okay. One more thing. So normally, like on a synth, you do envelopes ADSR, right? So like here, you only have a decay. So you can do, you know.
Nice.
like just shorten it like as you feel, you know. And then you can just shorten it here.
And the massive reverb we're hearing is from the Kalimba.
That's that's a built-in reverb. I can turn it off just so we have a clean. So yeah, this is the plucking, and then we've got the pad. So on a synth, if you would want to turn from plucking to pad, you need to like translate this idea into setting up the ADSR, and here you just like hold this, and then they change behavior.
Nice.
And then you can do things like, you know.
Oh wow. So it's already resonating, and then you pluck it. Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah. So like it's like very like immediate way to do like multi-stage envelopes, but like in very like intuitive way.
Yeah.
And I think that puts a lot more onto the expression of like how you want to play it. And so this is like the first two modes of playing, but there is more. So we've got the pad, then there is the glide, which can do one tone and slide based on how you change the pressure between the times. So you can do like big, or if you like go and touch it a little bit to the neighboring one, yeah. You can do this sort of like a vibrato thing, or just like.
And I suspect you also must have like scales and octaves and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got these up and down arrows to change octaves, or go very low. And then there is the scale button, and here you select like one of 12 scales for now, and you can also. So this is a minor scale. We have some Makam scales from that I made with my friend from Lebanon. I really love this scale.
Oh, nice.
So to like Western tradition, these are microtonal scales. Yeah. So each of the tines can be like tuned independently. You can go to different octaves, and then you can like micro tune them, go like in sense, and really like dial in really any scale, which I think is very exciting. And you're a keyboard player, and I grew up with the piano, and I was just like making the soundtrack for like the main video on it, and I have zero idea which notes I played. Yeah. And I couldn't be happier about that. Because somehow it just like forces me to get out of the patterns I have as a keyboard player, because you always like navigate certain harmonic melodic structure that you've like learned your whole life. And here you have the tones, and you just kind of listen and figure out shapes you want to play with your hands. So I think this makes it more like it's a translation of like what feels good to your body and what sounds good to you. So it's like this feedback loop, and it sort of like removes this like music theory in between layer that you need to apply when you play on a piano or something like that, where because if you don't apply that layer, it doesn't have to sound good, right? Yeah. So, but here, like you can spend the time like making the scale and like learning the ins and outs, and see like how you can like navigate through the scale, and variety different melodies, and like I don't know if it's the right word for it, but I call it a riff. Yeah. Like you can like play these riffs, and like riffs are like to me like very like bodily expression of music. So like it like the riffs also need to like feel good in your body, you know? Like,
Yeah.
like you're making the movement and you're kind of like getting into it in a in a very like bodily way.
Play me a riff.
Okay, let's play. Let's do.
Do whatever you want with the reverb and everything.
Let's put a bit of distortion.
Oh, nice. Oh, love it. I remember from playing Kalimba exactly what you was talking about. It's like you're making other types of movements or riffs, which only applies right there and then for that setup, and that's where you kind of define the riff or the music, and it's so satisfying.
Yeah. I really, I think I might be like a little bit of overcompensating my musical education because I went to study composition and I totally burnt out from making music. It somehow took away the joy of making music because I had to reason for everything in music, and then sort of like the claim of this instrument is that like the less you think, the better the music might be.
Yeah.
Like the less you need to like, as I said with the envelopes, you know, like when you want to go from like plucking to pads, you always need to translate it into the ADSR domain, and here you don't have to.
Yeah.
So, and I think you need to always dedicate some like bandwidth into that. And maybe if you don't, you focus more on the expression. And this also applies very much to the sound engine, which is like deceivably, it just, I I try to make it just sound good most of the time, you know, or like, but there is like a lot of variety and there are the rules, but they are different than on many synths. So yeah,
Let's go into a couple of various kind of sound types.
yeah, it's gonna be the easiest when I use the arpeggiator. So there is an arpeggiator, so you can play the arpeggiator like that, or just like use the lock button to lock an arpeggio. Let's add a few more notes, maybe. Right? So we have a simple arpeggio, and now let's tweak the sound. So kind of the default sound, or I think of this as the default sound, that all the knobs are in the middle and they have a central detent. So like the knobs like can be just like parked in the middle. So this is like the default Kalimba sound. And each of the knobs is a crossroad. And you can just like see where the crossroad takes you, see if you like it or if you maybe want to take the other way. So like with the timbre, you can go here or you can go there.
Nice.
Right? And so timbre is like the main timbre control, and that like really opens up the timbre. Excite is more like focused on the transients. Right? So blend is sort of like a mix between like, this would be just the physical modeling, and now it's like temporally fading in some sine wave and then like turning fully into FM all the way here. So you have this like very pristine FM, and then this like more noisy physical modeling that also takes the microphones, and there is like this like dirt and like the moment sort of. So like you can like do like play with the body. There are also these like touch points that you can touch. So that's the blend. Detune is very loose interpretation of detune. It does many things, but like it can like, if you go to the left, it can make it sound like you can have this like detune.
Yeah, I see.
But it's like tuned in a way that it always tries to land you in an interesting spot. So like almost like wherever you kind of like tweak it randomly, it can get you something interesting. So it's setting like the FM ratio, but also influences the physical modeling in some way. And body is, I think, the most exciting one, maybe, because it like blends the two synth engines together and like makes it really like sound very special. Let's transpose it down. So you get the more of a body of a sound in two different ways. So
at this point, you might be thinking that we are using a looper, but no, we're still just on the arpeggiator. But I'm eyeing the loop button there.
yeah, exactly. So arpeggiator and like the lock feature, that's like one way you can play it. So it's actually like playing the notes. You can also like turn off the arpeggiator and it's gonna still keep going because I locked the notes. I can jam on top of the arpeggiator.
Nice.
Or like do the pads, or just like lock maybe like a droning bass note like that, you know, unlock it, and now it's stopped. So, and you can also lock the touch points. So
Oh wow, cool.
if I want to just be always playing pads, maybe for a song, I can just go pad and lock it, and like this icon turns on, and I'm always playing pads now.
Nice.
But also, if you plug it even in the pad mode, it works, right? Yeah. So looper. let's.
It does say. Look, it says rec.
It says rec. Yeah. So if you go rec, it like waits for you. I have it now synchronized with the M8, so maybe I'll just start a beat. So I'll be somewhat in tempo. So let's just. I don't know what I'm doing.
No.
But let's see. Yeah, not bad. So early in the morning. So yeah, so that was
Because you had an external sync, it synced.
yeah, exactly. So there is a TRS MIDI or a USB MIDI or analog clock. So if the clock is there, it just picks the clock. Yeah, you can also turn it off.
Yeah, nice. So if you would change the tempo on the mate, it would
Where is
mess up sync. You don't have to do it.
see? It's like the tempo going right.
Wow, actually, this surprised me because the recorder is audio, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So
But it didn't pitch. It's time stretch.
yeah, so there is like very special time stretch. So let's see what happens when I like slow it down. It's like very slow down. It's like 3 times slower, right?
Yeah.
40. And the time stretch is like very different because like it goes forward, then it plays backward, and then it goes forward.
Oh, cool. That's a nice idea.
Yeah, so it's like a reversing time stretch, and it has like very like you hear this reversing.
Yeah. I love it. Oh, this is super cool.
Yeah, but I always like loved like using Kalimba with like reverse delay or something, and this kind of like does it like within the looper if you change the tempo.
That's low-key genius.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, let's try this, and I like it. I don't know if everybody likes it, but
Everybody will love it.
so let's go back to the original tempo, which was 120, and you can also like halve the tempo on the unit,
Okay.
which you know we're still working on. It might work, it might not. So if you hold the tempo, there is like a way to like. There is like minus and plus, so like if I hit the scale button, it's gonna halve the tempo. And it's gonna do this reversing.
Nice.
Yeah, you hear that?
So if you record now on top of this half tempo, what happens then?
I think it bakes it again into like audio track, and when you speed it up, the time stretch artifacts will be there. So let's try that. So let's do, I don't know. Right, so I made this overdub, and let's speed it up back again. So there is like these little, reversing artifacts. So they were like baked into the
Nice.
into the audio, and so there is like the looper is actually way deeper than it might seem. So what I
But sometimes that's what you need to do in order to make it seem less technical.
yeah. So like you remember there is like these octave buttons up and down.
Yeah.
So these change the octaves of like what I'm playing. If I hold track and go octave down, it transposes
Wow.
it, like octave down, but it kind of keeps the timing. But if I like,
Wow, this is so nice.
so if I go octave up, this is the original, and when I go octave up, it needs to make up by doing this reversing again, and you get this like rhythmical reversing stuff.
Oh, this is so cool.
Yeah, and so let's overdub on top of this. Maybe some bass. I like this. So then there are effects which you can apply either to the sound, which that's how they work. But if you hold the rec button and tweak the knobs, you can re-record the loop through the effects.
Oh, cool.
And this is like what I call destructive looping. I've been doing it on the Thyme. It was like one of my like, oh, you can do like a really interesting looping. So you take the audio, run it through effects, and record it again. So let's do that.
Sick.
So I just hold track and like tweak the filter.
So just momentarily, it's feeding it through the effect.
Yeah, and now it's recorded. It's audio, right?
Nice.
So it's not like knob automation, but it's audio. But there is an undo on the looper. So if I want to go back, I can hold track and press tempo.
How many steps of undo?
Just one.
Yeah.
So and I can also redo by doing it again. So now I have these like knob tweaks. Yeah, I can like completely destroy the loop. So I can add some chorus, maybe reverb, downsampling, distortion. Let's simplify the beat. So, and now this is like completely new piece of audio that's like just ran through the effects. And I've been like performing like this. I built like destructive looper on like first on the Thyme, then I made it on the Octa track, and then I built it in Bitwig, and I've been performing with this like for like years. And so like typically the problem with looping is that you keep adding loops, and then it's just full. Like how do you get back? So either you need to have like multi-tracking or something, which would be like very complicated on device that actually needs to fit inside your hand. So the destructive looping, you can just kind of destroy it, simplify it, maybe make something like that, and then you can just go and play something on top of that. And
Very dreamy, very nice.
but these like sweeps in the background, there is still the original audio. Like all the history has been kind of like jumbled in the memory, and there is like echoes of it.
Yeah.
And I love this way of working so much because to me, it's like how my brain works, you know. So it's you remember something, like everything we're doing right now. It has been influenced by everything we did up until now, and that for me is destructive looping, in a way.
Yeah.
Only the undo is not in real life. I was kind of like not wanting to include it at first. Like none of my destructive loopers have undo, but here it exists.
I think one step of undo is nice. You can go into uncharted territory and step out again. and then go into another territory. I think it's a good performance tool.
Yeah, I think it's somewhat unique. Like there are a few machines that can do this, but somehow this is just like really like one gesture away. Just like hold the rack and like destroy the loop.
And right now, it's powered over USB. It has MIDI sync in and audio out, but there is a battery.
So there is a built-in battery. There is a built-in speaker, right? So you really don't need any cables. You can just like play it on the couch. It's actually relatively loud. I think you can like in certain settings like level match even like piano or guitar, you know?
So it has audio input as well?
No. It doesn't have audio input, but like the level of the speaker can like match the loudness of
I see.
of acoustic instruments or for singing. Yeah, when I was in Norway in summer, I had this like one day when I just like made a loop and went into the shower and was just like singing with it in the shower.
That's great.
So yeah, I don't know. This is like sort of like the blending of the instrument and the live that I find important, and also like the fact that it has microphones. You just like create these moments that might be like unrepeatable, but somehow are like very like you at the end, or like other like moments that you experienced, and that feels like important to me, especially when creativity is challenged with like prompting and like I think this is like instrument that like actively like encourages you to just like be in the moment and like enjoy the creative process.
Yeah, I think it's a lovely and different. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So where are you at in the process now? You launched a Kickstarter today.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So we launched the Kickstarter today. There is different price tiers as you usually do that. I think the cheapest is like 389 euros without tax. There is a limited amount of those, so hopefully you can still catch it when this video gets out. And we'll be shipping them until the end of the year, which is like a safe thing for us to say. Might be sooner, but like we don't want to say that, you know?
Yeah. And you have everything is more or less ready to go. How is the firmware state at this time?
I think considering it's like still like months to go, it's like the best one we've had. Like I think companies release firmwares in what state than it is now, but there is still work to do, mainly in the looper domain and also the sensorics, like the touch. We're trying to like there are like different sensitivity presets because like my colleague John here, he lives in a desert, and
It's super dry. It doesn't work for him.
yeah, now it does. So we're basically trying to make sure it's gonna work for more or less everyone with the sensitivity. So this is like still being tweaked, but it's in a pretty good state. I like, we've already gave it out to people. People can play it. Maybe just accept like some sync and the looper, and sometimes there is this. So there is like few little things, few little tweaks, but it's almost ready.
And the Kickstarter is running for a month?
Yeah, correct. So for a month from now, like 31 days, you can get it. I think till 7th of June. The first batches, and sometimes next year it's gonna be available through our network of retailers, but the price will have to be higher. Of course, we don't know how the inflation's gonna go, but the dealers take a cut. So like we really try to make it as affordable as we could for the Kickstarter, because we really think this needs to get to people, and I'm not sure if like people are gonna get it straight away. I think there is like this thing like you need to try it to like understand it, the
Yeah.
function and the physicality of it. So yeah, now like today and the next days, a lot of people will try it. They already are. So let's hope that let's hope people like it.
Well, I like it. I like it very much, and I like it very much also because it's a very different entry into this space of electronic music and portable instruments. And I like it also because it kind of tricks my brain a little bit into experiencing something that feels a little bit more physical. And also what you showed me with the looper and the way you kind of stretch it, it sounded so interesting and beautiful. It's like typically time stretching sounds more like a granular synth, and that's one expression. But this had a much more musical appeal to me, I think. And yeah, I think it tickles my brain. I love this.
Yeah, thank you. I think there is like a lot of like I think I've been doing this for long enough to like be opinionated about certain things, and there is like a lot of design decisions that went into it that that would probably like feel wrong on a spec sheet or like on a forum somewhere, but I think there is like this vision of this complete instrument, and I think about it as an instrument. It's like synthesis-based instrument. I'm not sure if it's a synthesizer, but what is a synthesizer anyway? So,
Yeah, cool. Well, best of luck. And for all of you watching, check out BASTL Instrument. You'll find them on social media on the webpage. Is there anywhere specific where they find this, the Kickstarter campaign?
I mean, there is QR code. I don't know if that's gonna translate into the video, but like you can get it through there, and yeah, it's gonna be linked everywhere on our website, socials, everywhere.
Cool. I'll link it up in the description below, so make sure to press the link.
All right.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed this very much, and best of luck with the launch. I hope millions of people will, will pre-order and it'll break the factory.
I'm not sure we can do millions, but thank you. Thank you.